Okay, hi. We are going to make meatball parmesan today in the Instant Pot. We're going to start, now I had showed you how to make these into balls, and I had frozen them in this freezer bag after I'd mixed up all the meat. But I found that whenever I took it out of the freezer bag, they were more stuck together than I'd planned because not all of it was completely thawed. So I ended up kind of reforming it as they thawed. So if you give them enough time to completely thaw, you'll be fine. But if you don't, then you might have to reform them. Another option would be just to wait to form the balls on the day of cooking. I'm going to take my trivet, and I'm using the 8-quart today. I use that most of the time just to make sure I have plenty of room. And I put the trivet in there, and I'm going to pour in a cup of water, which I gave myself too much. So I'm going to pour in a cup of water. And the reason I'm doing the trivet is I want the meatballs to go in on top of that. Now we are going to end up stacking them, and I'll show you after I'm done what it looks like. But they should still turn out good. They just might be a little stuck together when we're done cooking. Now I use this Ragu sugar-free sauce. I'm going to pour just a little bit of sauce over each of those because originally it was supposed to be in the mix, and I decided I would rather just have it over the top instead. Just a little tiny bit. I'm going to do the rest. Another layer, a little more sauce. Now if I were to use, since we're doing this as a low carb recipe, if I were to use the whole bottle of sauce, it would end up being 55 extra carbs. That's why I just went with a cup, which I know it's for 8 people. So it's not that bad, but I just figured better safe than sorry on the carb count. All right, I'm going to finish drizzling a little bit more over each of these. Now I'm just gonna cover them. Now keep in mind I did use the low fat ground beef. Check my directions. In this we're going to cook for 10 minutes with a natural release of 5 minutes. And come over here to pressure cook. Now yours may have manual instead of pressure cook. My 6-quart is like that. And then we'll go down to 10 minutes. Make sure your vent is sealed, and that's that. On the inside, you can kind of see how I did it. You can see the trivet way down there in the water, and I just tried to pour the sauce over each one so it's cooked a little bit in the sauce, and there will be a little sauce to use. Okay, now that it's been 5 minutes of natural release time and 10 minutes of cooking under pressure, we're going to go ahead and release this steam. It's called the quick release if there's still steam in it. As I get too close. Going the wrong direction, because I'm not usually standing behind it. Okay, I just took the lid off of the Instant Pot, and this is what they look like. This fogs up my lens right when they come out, and then I will get them on a plate for you in just a minute. so you can see better what they'll look like. And here they are, fresh out of the Instant Pot. I did garnish them a little bit with some fresh parsley, and I ended up putting a little more of the ragu sauce over the top because most of it had gone away. In the next portion of the video, I'm going to show you how I assembled the individual meatballs. It was already shown in a previous video, so I didn't include it at the beginning, but here is that next section now. And next, we are moving right along to the Meatball Parmesan. So for the Meatball Parmesan, we are going to mix together two pounds of meat and of ground beef, lean ground beef if possible, some marinara sauce, minced onion, minced garlic, Italian seasoning, and 2 eggs and a Parmesan cheese. My favorite part because I get to mix raw meat. Yum. Just kidding. Not my favorite. I should have got one of my kids to help with this part, but that's okay. I did get lean, and I highly recommend using lean anytime you try to do meatballs in a slow cooker or Instant Pot, so they're just not frying in their grease. I'm sorry, my brain, I know what I'm doing and I can't get past it, apparently. All right. So it took 2 eggs, and it takes some Parmesan cheese, 3/4 of a cup. I'm gonna reuse this that I had the salsa in, so I don't completely dirty everything in my kitchen. Now, normally I'd get grated, but since our store was out of cheese today, I happen to have this other kind of Parmesan cheese, so I decided to use that. Then I need the 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. I like a lot of garlic, so I usually make those heaping teaspoons. Or I could have used a tablespoon, which equals 3 teaspoons if I wanted to. Now, minced onion and minced garlic. Or not minced garlic, garlic. Oh yeah, I already did the minced garlic. Italian seasoning, I need 1.5 teaspoons of that and 2 tablespoons of minced onion. All right, 1.5 teaspoons, which is a 1/2 tablespoon, and I happen to have a 1/2 tablespoon measure here, so I'm going to use that. And then salt and pepper. So I usually, a lot of my recipes say just salt and pepper to taste. I'm gonna use a teaspoon of salt. And 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper. I'm going to attempt to mix all this with a spoon, but typically I end up using my hands because it's hard to, and I'm going to have to form these into meatballs anyway, so. Now I'm getting in with the hands. Yuck. My favorite raw meat, but I did put this on there, so it's not like I can't handle it. It's just, it feels gross and it sounds gross too. Anybody else have an issue with touching raw meat. I've seen people that have used it like in their Ninja or like their Bosch mixer or something, and they like using cookie paddles. That would work, but that would be one more dirty thing. So I'm just gonna do it like that. All right, so I think I got it good and mixed. And now I'm just going to wash my hands, and then because I have it on my knuckles. Excuse me. And then I'm gonna form it into balls. First, now you can do one of two things with this. You could go ahead and put them on a cookie sheet and then freeze them like that. But I think I'm going to just put them in the bag like that. And if they stick together a little bit, that's okay. I don't really mind. All right, so I'm supposed to get 24 out of it. So I'm going to just cut this in half and try to get 12 out of each thing so it gives me an idea. And in this portion of the video, I'm just assembling and rolling all the balls of the meatballs up out of the ground beef mixture, rather than have you all watch me as I go slowly rolling each and every one of those 24 balls. I decided that I may as well just go ahead and fast forward it so you guys don't just have to sit there for a long time watching me roll one ball at a time. So this is just the process it is, and I was putting it directly into that freezer bag, and it's just that simple. Simple enough that you could let your kids do it instead. And then I'm going to wash my hands again. And seal it. Oops, I forgot to get the air out. It's kind of important. And there's the Meatball Parmesan ready to be frozen.